Hello and welcome to another Link Up show with myself, Charlene Smith and Doug. We are here today to discuss the big topic of the weekend, Man City winning the Premier League, and we're going to talk about Arsenal. Doug, it's been such a long time. How are you?
Bro, I'm hurt. I feel like the hurt is what's caused us like to just be like we've had time to reflect and lick our wounds. Obviously, we've been busy, but I just don't. It was hard, man. This was a hard one to take, man. You know,
Absolutely.
It was very difficult. I've had to really process it all and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's more so painful because we just got put on like this pedestal, like we got put so high up, like we were so certified that we was going to win the Premier League, and the way we just kind of ended it, it's just heartbreaking. It's almost as if like, the team just sort of gave up in a sense, that match. I think it was the Liverpool match when they all just dropped to the ground after, and it was like from that moment on, like we just haven't, found our winning ways.
Yeah. Like I also think that like it was also like that, and I think that we lost some legs. Like I saw something that said that Pep had made like 88 changes to his squad throughout the whole season, and we had only made 38, so less than half of the changes they made. They rested De Bruyne when they needed to. They rested Haaland if needed. They were always willing to change it up a bit, and I think with Arteta, his reluctancy to change it is what kind of maybe cost us in the championship rounds, if you get it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, players like running out of legs and not having the necessary whatever to get them through those last. Because you think Newcastle, even Liverpool, is bopping them. They get a goal back. Okay, 2-2. You can take a point away from Anfield, knowing we took 4 points away from Liverpool this season. But then there's nothing you can really say about the West Ham game.
Yeah, exactly.
I called it complacency at the time, but then you say complacent. All right, cool. Go and prove us wrong and go and get the points against Southampton, and then they messed that up again as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So, it was man. It was sad to watch. It was heartbreaking, But we moved. We can only take positives out of it.
Absolutely. Listen, big up everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am going to get through your comments in a bit, but yeah, Doug, I absolutely agree with what you're saying. Just going back to what you're saying, Doug, about Man City being able to rotate the squad, making 88 in comparison to our 38 changes. When you look at that Man City squad, though, they've got the squad depth. They've got the quality where they can rotate and bring in, players without, any standards being dropped. When you make that comparison to Arsenal, we haven't got a team like that. And we also have to factor in the injuries that we was faced with. So if I was to sort of take a positive out of that situation, I feel like, well, we've done really well with our limited resources that we actually have.
No, 100%, 100%. Like, and I think Arteta, like, he's also got a lot to learn. You remember, like, this is his first big job, and to go from, like eighth, fifth, you get what I mean? Then fifth, then, just losing out on fourth that season. And you know what? For some reason, I think Arteta's going to win the Prem with Arsenal. I do believe that will happen. But I felt like this season, even when I looked at it and Pep winning it, it was like, that the master kind of got one up on the student. Not got one up, but the student has to go a bit harder to beat the master. Do you get what I'm saying? And it weren't going to be this season, but it may come in seasons to come. But I just think there's a lot of things that I just feel that contribute to this. I think Arteta, sometimes the rotation, he could have rotated players, but we're not in training, so we can easily say, why didn't he play in Teeny? Why isn't he doing this? But then, like, it comes down to trust. If he feels he can't trust players, then he's not going to play them. But then at the same time, he still put Vieira in there that, for whatever reason, he's playing him, and we think that, well, I would have rather have done this or done that. He's seeing what's going on in training and thinking, you know what, I might have to reward this player because he is trying, where others' attitudes have kind of changed or dropped. You get what I mean? Like him dropping Partey was off it for a few games, and then he dropped him and brought in Jorginho. Jorginho stepped in, but then there's reasons behind it all, innit? Do you get what I mean? But what I didn't get was the Forest game playing Xhaka at left back. And in that, I get why he's trying to do it because he's a more natural ball playing midfielder than going into that role than Teeny. But sometimes just go back to basics, innit? Do you get what I mean? But maybe he was trying something. The league in their eyes might have already been lost, but because you don't really see City losing a game now. Do you get what I mean? Like we said, I said, oh, City's bound to drop points, but the way they've been playing, they don't look like they're dropping anything. Do you get what I'm saying? So fair play to them. This City team is mad, and you know what? To push them to the final 2-3 games of the season, 4 games even. Like I've seen. There's been times City have won it with 5 games left and stuff like that. There's times they've blown away the competition and that, So to see what we've done, I'm very proud of it. But at the same time, I feel like there was times we still could have maybe won it,
Exactly. Mixed emotions. I'm just going to get through some of these comments, then I'm going to come back to that point that you made about going back to basics and, Xhaka over Kieran Tierney. This comment... Get one on your way home, darling. I was actually wondering, what era you're referring to. Regard that was a text, texting his other half, but accidentally said.
Who you talk to, Eras? Who you talk to? Innit?
What is it that you are trying to get on the way home?
Yeah.
Or should we not ask?
Duck and Charlie. Trust me. You know what I mean? Always have to make a time beat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, mate. Hey, Charlene and Doug, how are you? Hey, Ashake, we good? How are you?
Come on, Ashake. Chelsea struggling as always. Good to see.
I mean, they didn't get turned over by Man City, though. They kind of held out pretty well in that 1-0 defeat yesterday.
Yeah, but Man City already won. They changed that. Even with a second team, they beat that Chelsea team.
No surprise.
I wasn't even surprised. They're just strong. Like they said that the Etihad is the hardest ground now to play at. Seeing as Liverpool have been dropping points at Anfield, like the Etihad is the hardest ground to be at. Do you get what I'm saying? Exactly. So I'm not surprised that they're just turning teams over. They're a great side, man. A great side.
Unbelievable side. And this is why, I'm sorry, this is why we need to give ourselves and other people need to give us more credit, because we've been riding the top of the league and over Man City.
But they're using that, but they're using it against us, Char. This is the thing. I know, I was having, yesterday was the first day I popped out, in the WhatsApp groups. I've been quiet. Everyone's finding banter. They're getting on to man, and I got my boy Strive, shout out Strives. He's been holding it down. In one of my WhatsApp groups in particular, they're all getting on to him, and he's, his views are very, he's outspoken, and they've been getting on to him. I've been quiet. And yesterday was the first time I've spoken, and it's everything that you say, everything that you try to explain, they always want to, you say, well, you bottled it. They use this word bottled, but it's okay, you can say you throw away the league and you bottle it or whatever. But when you actually break it down, you have a sensible conversation about it, and you understand that, you got a young side, the legs there, even with the squad, right? Even though we may have let's say we had a squad of 23 players, it's not 23 of strong players. You look at the bench at Forest when you made the changes and you look who else is sitting on the bench. It's not a solid 23 where you could look and be like, he's a game changer. Yeah, you can bring on Reece Nelson and we know how good he can be, but he's not guaranteed to change the game. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas you look at the City bench, they can bring on Amares, they can, they've got Phil Foden on the bench, that they've got big players that are sitting there that can come in. Alvarez, they got, you look at that and
unreal, mate.
The bench is unreal. They got an unreal bench of players if Diaz or Akanji, or they got strength in depth in it. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And Arsenal just haven't got that. And you could see as the season gone on and he was running with the players that he could trust, they did start to wear out. And, Saka played every game.
Literally. We rely so heavily on Saka.
rely heavily on him, but we don't have anyone else that can fill his boots. I think what it is the drop off in quality from our first team to our bench is so big, and it's proven. I think him running with the second team for Europa was the point. Like it's like you're almost showing that this team, this second team, like if we put it this way, if we really wanted to win Europa, we could have put the first team out and whatever, but then we would have burnt ourselves out in the Prem. Like whichever way you looked at it, whatever we tried to take on seriously would have burnt the team out regardless.
Yeah.
So it's like he's now showing that the second team that we need a squad of players. Like I see rumors of Mason Mount, I see rumors of Declan Rice, Ika Gundogan, Ikea Gundogan. So I think Arsenal are at a stage where they have to, this transfer window, spend like mad, providing it's all above board, see what Arteta can do, and I also blame Edu for this. You know, I don't know if I mentioned it on a previous thing, but I almost blame Edu as part of the reason that the squad failed in this title chase, like in this title run. Do you get me?
Not getting in like the players and stuff.
Yeah, like remember, like at no point has Arteta ever got his targets.
Exactly.
Maybe was his target. Zinchenko was but Zinchenko wasn't even originally his first choice target. He wanted Lisandro Martinez. And then when United got Martinez, we then moved on to Zinchenko. Do you get what I mean? So even though everyone's saying, you know what, big up, Zinchenko did well, but then I can also, even in this season, I also see the reasons why Zinchenko wasn't playing at City, as well as why the quality that he did bring to City, I can see why he weren't playing. So it's like Eddie also has something to answer for, because at no point did imagine that if we'd got Cancelo in the January transfer window and we did get Modric. I think people were downplaying Modric because Chelsea have been so bad, but I do think there's a talent in there that had he come to Arsenal, been excited, the team was riding high, we would have seen a different player playing with a bit of freedom, with a bit of excitement in him, and he could have been a big added bonus. Don't get me wrong, Trossard has been sick, and Trossard did do a lot, but towards the end, Trossard, like when Jesus came back in, Trossard kind of fizzled out a little bit. Do you get what I mean?
Do you think it's because Trossard, Jesus coming back, or why do you think
maybe? But then maybe also the fact that Jesus maybe went straight back in the team, maybe could have affected him mentally. Who knows? He could have been a bit upset about that. You never know. Maybe disturbed his rhythm. He's starting, he's playing, he's on fire, and but the thing is, when Jesus was scoring, he was scoring goals, so it did give the manager a bit of a problem. Then he's thinking, well, Jesus is our striker, so instead of playing a midfielder in up top, you're going to play your striker, innit? And then you're not risking losing a midfielder if he got injured. And then, you know what I mean? But there's so many different, like E. Ross is saying that, like Trossard should have paid for Saka. But it's like with Saka is one of the only players that you can say is at a high level most of the time, 70%, 80% of the time. Do you know what I mean? But he did drop off towards the end of the season, and
understandably. Don't forget he's been playing at international level as well. So
he's
playing Premier League minutes, international minutes.
Yeah.
In our cup games as well, like he was playing. I think there was one time he was benched, he had to end up coming on.
Yeah. And I get it, like they're teaching him that this is the level, and you know what, next season is going to be stronger. Martinelli, next season is going to be stronger. But I think what we shouldn't do is like get into this thing what we did with Wenger era, where Wenger had this team of like golden generation players that he thought would have had so much potential that he didn't want to bring no one else in to kind of stop their growth. Do you get what I mean? And we went for a long time believing in Walcotts and these kind of players that they will come good, Coquelin and all these other players that was around for so long that never really made it. So I think now, and I think bringing in people like Mason Mount, bringing in Declan Rice, bringing in players like that, and whoever else they may decide to bring in. I see some rumors about Ben White going back to centre back now. and then bringing in a proper right back, which I think in a way is good because like because we had him as a right back and we was using him as a right back, we never really got cover at right back for when Cedric left, which meant when Saliba got injured, we couldn't play Ben White at right back because we didn't have Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
So it's just all mad. But then Ben White is a sick player that had Saliba gone down and we put Ben White back into centre back and we had a decent right back, it would have. He's been playing. He knows the levels. He's good on the ball. He's pacey. Like it might not have been so mad. You get me? Like I see D Gunner saying Mason would be a horrible signing. I'm 50-50 about Mason because the talent is there, yeah. And if you'd asked me before, would you sign Mason Mount? I'd be like, nah. But under the system in which we play and how Arteta can get the best out of players, I think it would be a sick signing.
See, I don't know with Mason Mount. I'm not saying he's not a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he just don't excite me. It's not one of them players that you're like, yes, we're getting Mason Mount. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, there's qualities that Gareth Southgate sees in him. Also, I know Frank Lampard's a big fan of him. Also, but I don't know. For us, maybe once he comes to the club and he kind of gives us something to excite us, to show us his true qualities, and Arteta seems to be really good with getting the best out of players as well.
Yeah,
maybe my opinion will change.
Yeah, no, 100%. But you see the thing with Mason Mount, I think. What people maybe forget is when Chelsea were playing well, Mason Mount was a part of everything that that was a part of what they were good at. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He can play passes. He doesn't excite Char in that rubble.
I really want to get through as many of these comments as possible because you are actually funny.
Yeah, but it's not like that. Mason Mount has got the quality, he's got the ability, and I think under the right manager and under the right people, he can succeed in it. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's gonna take Arteta really getting in there and understanding if he can fit into our system. But I think the thing is, I think sometimes the way Arteta wants to play, having someone like Mason Mount is almost, you could turn him into that Xhaka role.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think he's good enough for that. He's got the legs. He can get up and down. I think he'd be sick in that role. And I think maybe that's what they're looking at as well.
And Xhaka is on his way out as well. So
yeah.
Big up to Wilson in the house, yo.
Go on, Wilson. Welcome to you. Is it? Good to see you.
Right, we'll try and get through a few of these comments. Which shirt is this? I'm going to come up slowly so y'all can see. It's this one. Guess who I got on the back?
Emirates, fly better.
Sorry,
Aubameyang.
Got my Aubameyang shirt.
Yeah, that's not really the song, is it? But
hey, Charlene, I was just on your Instagram live. Yeah, I thought I'd just go on there to let you guys know. Listen, me and Doug are coming live on YouTube, so come join us here.
Is it?
Nick Hughes is saying spoke too soon. I'm presuming he's talking about winning the league, but I mean, I understand where Nick is coming from, but when you look at the bigger picture, like Arsenal gave us every single reason to believe we were winning the league. We were 11 points clear at one point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like we were playing with so much quality, like our mentality, like we was just fighting. I was like, right, this is a completely different Arsenal team. Do you know what I mean? We are winning the league. Like these boys are going out there and they are fighting. Like they literally want to win this league. Like anytime like we went a goal down or whatever, we would retaliate. Do you know what I mean? Like our mindset was on a completely different level. And it's like, well, you'd be crazy to think that we weren't going to win the league. So I understand what Nick is saying about spoke too soon, but I don't think it's speaking too soon. I think it's the team putting belief in our minds.
We all believed, but then I think that when City, I can't think what game it is, I'd have to check, but City started to pick up points, and I think we mentioned it on a show where we was basically saying that as soon as City started to put points on the board, it's like we were still ahead, but it's like we panicked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And wait, I'm
Pressure
trying to
was
get
getting the better of us.
like
Came
they
down to
didn't even have to do much. All they had to do was start going on the run that they go on, and before you know it, we was losing our minds. I think where is it? Yeah, so City, when you check it, City have gone on a run, right? I can't even it says show more matches. So the last time City lost a game, was against Tottenham 1-0 on the 5th of February.
There you go.
They have gone on a run where they beat Aston Villa, then they beat us 3-1 at home, and then they drew twice with Nottingham Forest, and that put us ahead. Then they went and beat Bournemouth, then they beat Newcastle, and they have just continuously won. They beat Crystal Palace 1-0, and then they went on to beat that's a FA Cup. Then they beat Liverpool 4-1, then they Southampton 4-1, 3-0 against Bayern, 3-1 against Leicester, and then 3-1 against Sheffield, then 4-1 against. They just continuously carried on banging out winning games. Do you get what? And I think that in itself was where the pressure was, because as soon as they started to, I think as fans got nervous. I can speak for myself. I feel like I almost felt the pressure.
Yeah.
And I think at the time we might have been 8 points clear. I think it was 8 points clear. We had a game where we had to beat Leeds or whatever and do all of this. And I was worrying. And you just think that it transcends. It transcends. And even like my friend said something that it transcends down to the players. And I think my friend said something the other day, like, oh, they bottled it at this stage of the whatever. How did they let that happen or whatever? But I also said, but this is the thing. It's not like Leicester. You see, when Leicester was grinding it out and they were winning, it almost got to a point everybody wanted Leicester to do it. Yeah. So it's like the pundits, the atmosphere, like, was almost pushing Leicester, go and do it. And we was trying to catch him, and Tottenham at one point was trying to get onto him and whatever. And it's like everyone wanted to do it. I think the players and the fans, you could feel no one wanted us to do it. Yeah. Apart from ourselves, apart from the fans, we were the only ones that were kind of believing and rooting, where you had Gary Neville each week saying they can't do it. We all had like our own friends that are rival fans and whatever getting onto us, pundits, all of this saying they ain't got what it takes. No one actually kind of was like, you know what, actually get behind them. This is a phenomenal team, back them and push them and give them it. I felt like it maybe felt for the team that the whole world was like wanting them to fail. Do you get what I mean?
Waiting for that slip up. And I totally agree with you, Doug, because the only people that were really, calling our names and saying, yeah, Arsenal to win the league was literally Arsenal fans. And it's almost as if when you heard these pundits, it was just like any little thing. If we had got a draw or a loss, it'd be like, that's it. They've blown it. They was just waiting for any little opportunity to say, right, they've thrown away the league.
Yeah. Or just get on us for anything, sorry, just get on us for anything, your what's the word? Like you're celebrating too much.
You're celebrating too like Mikel Arteta and his antics on the sideline.
Yeah, his antics on the sideline. He's doing this, he's doing that. Like anything they did, it's almost like, the players, Arsenal need to control their players, this, that, but then you see City players. So it almost feels like the league is kind of, everything is on pressure on them to kind of slip up. And when it eventually did, it wasn't like, okay, it was like, look, everyone's laughing, look at them now. And it's hard. I think the players, you know what I mean? Like, I think the players felt that. A young team, emotional, never being in this situation before.
Yeah.
Like, never been in this position before. It is hard, like, when you're, like, you want everyone to. Yeah, they're so young. So, like, and people know what it's like. Everyone's had peer pressure. Everyone's had some sort of pressure in certain things. So, imagine being at the highest stakes of football and feeling like no one wants you to achieve it. Do you get what I'm saying? As a 22-year-old player, as a 21-year-old, do you know what I mean? having players in this team apart from Jesus and Zinchenko that have never won it before. Like Xhaka, yeah, he tries to lead, but he don't know what it takes to get a team over the line. And Partey knows what it takes because he's done it in La Liga. But even then, him kind of coming off the boil a bit, maybe not being a leader and not speaking up and helping them. I don't know, but it just felt like it's lack of experience is what killed us, isn't it? Do you get me?
Yeah, and you make some really crucial points there as well about them being so young. I guess they sort of just need like that reassurance. It's almost as if like for us, obviously we're slightly older, just slightly.
Yeah.
So we kind of look back to our early 20s and think, well, we kind of thought we knew it all, but actually, as life goes on, you experience things more. You get more pain in your life, and it makes you a stronger character. It builds character. Now, these are young boys, like they haven't really, I don't know their life stories, but they haven't perhaps been exposed to that and built that characteristic, like you say. So do you think now going into this transfer window, when we're recruiting, perhaps we need to get, some players that are slightly older, and let us know in the comments as well, guys, players that are slightly older, that have a bit more experience, a bit more character. What are your thoughts? And let us know, guys.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think more than anything, I think Arsenal have shown this season that even without the experience or championship experience, they can push City. They push City all the way in it. Like, I fully agree. I just think Arteta's got what it takes. I think he just needs the high caliber squad.
Yeah.
Like, he needs the high caliber squad, the high caliber players, the players that are going to run for a whole season, the players that can play at that high level all season round, and or a borderline on that potential of being able to do that. And yeah, it would be nice to get an older head in, someone who can that, but we had that. We got Jorginho in it, but it wasn't enough. Like, that we've got Jesus, Zinchenko players, but then we need. Yeah, we do maybe need, like, I see that we're trying to get Ikaya Gujaran. I think that would be because look how he stepped up in the crunch time.
I like Gundogan. Yeah. And that guy can score goals as well. Bring him now.
He's a leader. He knows what it takes, but I possibly see him signing an extension at City. But I think if City win it all this season, he could maybe go on to a new challenge. If they go on and win Champions League and FA Cup and they do the treble, you might say, you know what, my job's done here. Do you get me?
Yeah, Tyrell was just saying as well, did you see the news earlier as well? Arsenal want Gundogan from Man City. Yeah, that's news that's been going around for some time. Yeah. Bring Gundogan.
I just think, like, Arsenal just have to go get Cancelo. Go and get Declan Rice. Mason Mount, I'm 50-50 on, but I will, for the simple fact that I know we need squad depth, I would say Mason Mount is better than Vieira. Do you get what I'm saying? So for that simple fact, I'll take him. Like, go and get another right back. Go and, obviously we've got Tavares coming back. We've got
our loanees.
We have our loanees coming back. So, you know what I mean? I will, like to see that, see those players come in and maybe fight for their starting berth. Pepe comes back, Man, like Pepe, you never know. These players that we got rid of may have made a difference this season. We'll never know, because Pepe could have maybe in certain games, if he was crying out for a goal, been that guy to produce that. Exactly. But I do think we need to go and get some big signings. Go and get a striker. Like, there's money to spend and a team to build, man.
Exactly. I'm going to just read this comment. Big up to Tyrell Gunner saying, hi, Charlene and Doug. I'm on holiday in Spain. How are you guys doing? Mate, I wish I was on holiday too right now.
Trust me, tell me about it. I wish I was out there, you know what I mean, doing up Spain life right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? But right now, I'm just doing up this. I can't,
Yeah, I think we deserve a holiday after this stressful season.
I know, man.
The stressful end to the season. Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
But sorry, was you gonna say, Doug?
No, go on. I was just see you pop up this what Evers was saying.
Yeah, pressure is what makes the sport brilliant. The hard is what makes it amazing. Pause. Now, do you know what? Just to add on that as well, just, Arteta's style and the things that he does, the way he sort of gets into like players' mind and stuff like that, I think is amazing. The like, for example, like the Anfield situation, playing the speakers, then just the way he talks, he wants players to remember the pain they felt. For example, that Ivan Toney text or tweet, sorry, that he made the players, he reminded them of it before the Brentford game. So it brought back those feelings, those emotions, that they felt at that moment in time. And then now they're going to translate that onto the pitch against Brentford. And I think just little things like that, people might find it funny, cringy, whatever. But with a young team, you need to reignite them emotions to get a reaction. And as we saw, it did work, because we did get the result against Brentford and we did actually get the result against Newcastle.
Yeah.
So, I love Arteta's style. And I guess
100%.
Players differently according to their abilities, where they're at. In our situation, the fact that we've got such a young team, well, how do you get through to young people?
Yeah.
And
I think he's brilliant at it. Like, we've seen it with All or Nothing and everything like that, and how he was able to kind of connect with us, because you watch All or Nothing, the fans connected back with the squad after that show. Do you get what I mean? And the thing is, yes, we can be disappointed, but the progression and the level of which we've improved, that people was asking me, would you take City, Man United's season over Arsenal's? And they basically, because they won the Carabao and the Cup, and I was basically saying, seasons before, I remember when we won the FA Cup, I had people trying to tell me that the FA Cup meant nothing, that top four was more important. Do you get what I mean? Like, now that Man United have won it, all of a sudden the Carabao and the Cup's this big cup that everyone's winning, and it's like, it's to be respected. But the reason why I said I prefer Arsenal's position wasn't really about the silverware, but it was the progression in the way that we play football. Yeah. And I'm thinking, like, I've always slated United this season that yes, they've ground out games and maybe overpowered teams by the quality of individual players, but they've never actually been a great. They're horrible to watch. They've been horrible football. Like Ten Hag, I don't really think is that the guy. I may be wrong. Like, I'm open to be wrong, but I just don't think he's good enough for the club, and that he will get found out. And it's people like Rashford and these players that have kept him looking. Do you get what I mean? Because you think take Rashford's goals out the equation, they're a horrible side. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel like they've, you know what I mean? So in terms of progression and where we're at and the type of football that we're playing and how far we've come in terms of the rebuild and Arteta's journey and whatever, I would take this over the Carabao Cup, because I wouldn't like to have that cup just covering the cracks. Yeah, of what is actually going on. You got a manager that in the summer, in the January window, felt it was necessary to bring in someone like Weghorst, like, as your striker, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think at one point FIFA had him down as a centre back. Do you get what I mean? Like, and then I just think, you know what I mean? It's just them things are concerning to me. So I would rather be in this position where we've got Champions League football now, a great young manager. Yes, we came out short in terms of silverware this season, but a lot of players are going to be looking at what Arsenal did and understand the drop-off, that it was due down to whatever it is, and be like, you know what, I want to be a part of that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like they said, like Declan Rice looking at the Arsenal project and more looking at that as where he'd want to be playing with young players, like that you could see 5 years on from now, this team, if they stick together with extra additions and strengthening, it would be like a City Mark II if Arteta stays there long enough. Do you get what I'm saying?
And with the way we're collecting all of the ex-City players, it literally will be a City Part 2. We got Jesus. Talks about Gundogan coming.
Yeah.
You take Edison too.
What's your feelings about Jesus now, though? Like, we're coming up to a full season. He was out for some of it with injury, comeback, scores goals, does what he does. But do you feel like that's the man to lead the line?
Do you know what? I do like Jesus. He does work hard. I just need him to be a little bit more clinical. Like he gets some chances, and it is, you can see he's frustrated, and we're frustrated. He's just not finishing his chances, and you know, goals is what wins games. So he is a good player who I do like, but we need that clinical finish. Like we need to be scoring goals. Yeah, we've got other players that are scoring goals, but you know, we need our striker to be bagging some goals. So I do like him and I want him to stay, but I think we might need, like, we are in Champions League. We're going to be fighting for the Premier League. Like, we need someone to find the back of the net.
Yes, I see that Chelsea, Romano or Fabrizio or whatever the
Fabrizio Romano. I don't even know how I managed to guess these names.
Yeah, that was sick. Fabrizio, yeah. Different. I see that he confirmed that Chelsea going after Vlahovic was like they haven't put a bid in. It's kind of fake news as it stands at the minute. But me personally, I feel like I would want to see Arsenal going for a striker like that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like we need we got Jesus, but we need an alternative. Unless we're gonna find a striker that comes in that's like Suarez, Sanchez, you know, Aguero type, like finisher like that, then I'll take that. I will take a guy that's gonna get you 20 plus goals a season without fail. Don't give him the ball in the box. He finishes everything. I would love that. But if we can't find that, I want someone like Vlahovic that just gives us a different option. He can score goals. He's got the power. He's got the heading ability. You know what I mean? I feel like we need something like that. Do you get me? Because it's like when all fails, we haven't got a second, like when everything don't work for Arteta, when he brings on the guys, you just feel like when certain players come on, you just feel like, okay, that's it now.
Yeah.
You know, we haven't got someone that comes on and you think, oh, that's another bit of danger, unless he's rested the likes of Saka or he's rested Jesus, or you see certain players coming off the bench. You think, okay, because they've been rested. Other than that, once the starting lineup can't do it, you look at the bench and you think, who's going to change the game?
Yeah, exactly. Squad depth is so important. Em is saying we need more height and physicality in this team. Can I just say as well, boy, that Nottingham Forest team, bloody hell. When we saw them, they were all hench.
Yeah.
Like, what is their gym program? They've been pumping the weights, boy. Like, they all look like rugby players.
Yeah, they're huge. Like, and that's the thing. Some teams like that work to their strengths. Like Nottingham Forest have got a big, strong side of players that they're not. You know, they're all Premier League experience. They're not going to get bullied about, or because Nottingham Forest did spend the money.
Yeah, they got bloody 24 players.
Yeah, they spent the money. They got the quality in, and I think like with us, we've got technically gifted players. But like I've said this in every episode, when I went to the City game, and I just saw how much physically stronger City were than us. Like just looking at them. Like I speak about it all the time when Rodri went to win a ball in the middle against Jorginho and he just jumped and he like kind of the ball hit his hip here, but he just made Jorginho look like a little boy. Kanji came on, he looked like a beast. It was just Aki was bullying Saka on the wing. Do you get what I mean? Like, oh mate, we just look like that's where we need improvements as well. Physical strength, man.
Yeah.
Saliba was so missed.
I know, man. I really hope he's back soon. Then we've got Martinelli, who's currently out injured. Hope he's coming back soon. We got our boy Tommy Yasu as well.
Yeah, Tommy just can't, broken toy Tommy in it. Like he just keeps on mashing up himself. Like we just need some players that are gonna come in, be reliable, hold it down. Do you get me? Because we're lucky this season that Saka never got injured.
I know.
Because had Saka got injured, the season would have folded a lot sooner. Martinelli got injured now, but it would have folded a lot sooner if we had those injuries come in. Do you get what I mean? Like we did so well, but just couldn't hang on, man.
Exactly. Eros is saying, what about ESR? What's up with him? And that has sort of been a question because he hasn't really been getting minutes. He did come on in the Nottingham Forest game, and then you see him here and there, but he's not really an option to get any minutes. I think, I mean, he is quite injury prone. Do you think this would be more injury, more, I don't know?
I think mindset.
Huh?
I think mindset, like, you know, when we watched All or Nothing and they were talking to him about, you know, when he got pushed off the ball and they want him to win his battles and win his duels. And I think he's the type of player that mentally he's not maybe strong enough. I wouldn't want to say like he's like a bit mentally like weak or he's got mental health. I wouldn't say that because I don't know him, but I don't want to put that out there. But I reckon mentally he's not as strong as the others. Where Saka has kind of grown mentally, Martinelli has grown mentally. I reckon he's maybe a little bit soft. And
yeah, I think he's shy. His actual character is he is, you know, quite a shy individual. So maybe it could sort of be a bit of a confidence thing. Like,
100.
You got to be confident in what you're doing. Do you know what I mean? And I think
and the stakes have risen. The stakes have risen because you got to remember when the pressure. Remember when we was playing last season? And we was just trying to find form and we would lose a couple games and then we would find form and we'd win a few games. There was no real pressure to achieve anything. Yes, I think for everyone, we just wanted to start playing better.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think so when a lot of players, when there's no pressure, and I've seen it with Arsenal, soon as the last season, soon as it was pressure and it was, oh shit, we can make top 4, yeah. Everything started to get a little bit rocky and it started to get real intense. Do you get me?
Yeah.
But up until then, we'd win a few games, we'd lose a few games. We even watch it on All or Nothing. You could see the team growing in confidence. Then we had January, trim the team down, and it all changed a little bit and whatever. And it was just maybe playing for pride. And, you know, like, yeah, Smith Rowe was getting his goals and doing whatever. As soon as it became serious, it's like there was a drop-off. Do you get me? This season, from when we've been at the top, it was all fun until it got serious. Do you get what I mean? And then he's come back from injury at a time where it's all serious now. And Arteta's most probably looking at him thinking, bro, I don't even know if I can throw you into this game if you can handle the level of intensity or how serious it is, or you just gonna look what happened when we bought on Lukonga against City in the FA Cup and totally out of his depth.
Yeah.
Those are the games where you go and stand up and be counted and be like, look at me, like I am worthy to be here. And he just was skipping around like a little Bambi deer and didn't know where he was going and what he was doing. Do you get me? And him alone moved to Palace where he's not even played. So, you know,
of the Premier League. And I think I kind of feel it for Smith Rowe because like him and Saka, do you remember they was playing so well together? And then obviously Smith Rowe got that injury. And I mean, coming back from an injury, that can knock your confidence because you've perhaps still got in the back of your mind, like, what if, and you're sort of scared to go in for, you know, certain movements and things like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, over time and getting more game time, you know, that does sort of fade.
Yeah.
But it's just the injuries that sort of setting him back, really, because he was on a roll.
100%.
Like everyone was calling his name. It was SR and Saka. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, they've got a song together, but they might split it up next season. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also when you were saying something, it made me think about something because also it's like I saw a thing when they were talking about they were trying to train ESR for the Xhaka role, and I think also another problem with him is that in this system, because we never played this system last season. Do you get me? So in this system, it's like maybe they're struggling to find a role for him, how he fits into the system, because he's not as dynamic and as pacey or as an out-and-out winger as, say, Martinelli. Do you get what I mean? But then he's not got the strength and the physicality to play in the Xhaka role that's needed to keep up with the game. Because you think with Xhaka, you see what happens when we bring Vieira in, when Xhaka, that Vieira's not got the physicality or the strength to kind of impose himself on the game. So if Smith Rowe's the same, then we've already, you know, like, where do you play him? Like, where do we see him playing in the pitch? Because the system's now changed where, you know, like, we need strong players in the middle. We can't afford to have someone like Smith Rowe who's going to go missing, maybe back out of a challenge, you know, give the ball away. You know, like, we can't afford to have that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. You know, like, this transfer window, we need to go hard.
Hard, man.
Because we've shown this season that actually we can do amazing things. So give Mikel Arteta whatever he asks for.
Give him all the players, man. Give him all the players. I personally think we should. All this racism going on with Vinicius, let's put in a bid. 150 million, let's go and get him. Yeah, let's go and get Vinicius. Yeah, Saka and Vinicius on either wing would be mad. Let's just I just think we need to test play teams' resolves. I think we need to show intent.
100%.
We really need to show intent. I know they most probably got a game plan of what they want to do, but I think if you go out there and you put a bid, knowing that you maybe can't get the player, but you show the intent, listen, we're gonna come for this player. It makes other players realize, right, these men ain't playing around, because you never know what it takes for a team to say, okay, yeah, we'll take him, or a player to say, actually, you know what, right, they're serious about coming for me. I want to go there. And I think Arsenal should really be very, aggressive in the transfer market. Not what we did last season with Mudryk, negotiate for weeks. And we need, as soon as the transfer window is open, that Declan Rice bid needs to go in straight away if that's what we're doing.
Don't hold back. It's not just it's now, okay, transfer window's here, what are we going to do? This has been planned throughout the year. So just, what you got to do, get on with it.
Yeah, go and get it, man. Go and get it.
No time. I hope my lighting is still good. Let me know if I need to put on my other light.
Lighting's blessed, but if you want to chuck on some more lighting, go on, true now.
As long as you can see me. Tyrone Stephen makes a very valid point. Racism got to stop, and it does. It's heartbreaking and sad to know that people are getting, abused because of the color of their skin. I think it is absolutely crazy. I hate hearing things like this, around racism and everything. It really does need to stop. It doesn't matter what color your skin is. We are all human beings. We all have feelings. We all have emotions. Accept everyone for who they are. Yeah, the color of your skin does not matter. Racism needs to stop. Stop being racist. Stop being abusive. Just stop. No need for it.
Yeah, 100%. I think, I think La Liga has let the black players down time and time again. I think the players need to kind of walk off the pitch if it continues, because that's the thing. Not saying the Premier League's any better, and it's easier for us to be over here pointing the finger at La Liga when we have issues within the stands ourselves at times.
Yeah.
But I've never been in that kind of situation where you got the whole stadium shouting monkey at a minute. That is crazy.
I've actually got shivers from that. That is just unreal.
Mad. You might hear in the Prem have a certain few individuals, and you never know, certain places at certain times there are some things that are said and some madness that goes on. So we're not perfect, but I think over there the level that it is at, there needs to be more solidarity, that togetherness and all of this. Do you get me? That game should have been the point where Real Madrid, all the players, because even though it was directed at Vinicius, Rudiger's there. There's other players that are there. There's other players that are racist. It's not just one black player. We all, everyone should have felt like that was directed at them.
Exactly.
Do you get what I mean? And everything, because it's not, it looks bad for the league. You think for sponsors, for big money deals coming in to see that's what's going on over there, it will kill the league for them.
Yeah, exactly. And there needs to be, tougher sanctions in place. People feel like they can do this because, there's no repercussions. So they feel like they can say whatever they want and do whatever they want. When actually, no, it's not right. It's just absolutely awful.
Terrible.
And it just ruins the game. I mean, no one deserves any abuse, but being abused because of the color of your skin is just, it's just.
And it could stop players wanting to go there. You think, even with the Russia league, look what was going on in Russia with some of the players, and it kind of killed them off, where a lot of black players didn't want to go and play in Russia.
Yeah.
Stuff that was going on over there. And I think for Vinicius, the thing with Vinicius, I think where it's been so bad is because it's mainly been targeting him. When in the Madrid derby, they hung a black thing from a bridge, like hung it and did all of this in the build up. He ended up going on to score the goal, I think, in the 90th minute or in extra time or whatever to see them through and whatever like that. So, he won the game and let his football do the talking at the end of it. But it's like, you got to get to a point like, Madrid are saying, oh, they want to go from a Mbappe again at some point. But these players will look at the league if it's not being managed and saying, I'm not going there to be racially abused.
Yeah, exactly.
Fly the flag for these teams, like, and for the league, and they're not protecting me when I'm going to need it. But I'm going to be like, chained down to some 5-year multi-super contract or whatever. Do you get me? Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I can see Vinicius leaving. I see his agent said that if he was to leave La Liga, he's open to coming to the Premier League.
Mm.
And and I can see that these other leagues, if they don't deal with this stuff, because it's rife in Italy as well.
Yeah.
Then they're gonna. You could look 5-10 years from now. These leagues could be like nothing in comparison. They're all talking about Super League. The Premier League will eventually be the Super League.
Yeah. It's crazy. Imagine waking up, going to work to do your job, and then someone's abusing you because of the color of your skin, because that's exactly what's happening.
And it's not good. I've had it before. I've gone to work and had people say things and not understand what they're saying and not be very, like, what's the word, like, ignorant about situations and inconsiderate about what they're saying and stuff. And it's not a nice feeling because you don't wake up in the morning always thinking about the color of your skin. Like, I'm just a normal person. Like, I wake up, my skin is my skin. I'm an everyday human. Like, whereas, like, I don't go into, like, some people sit there, you be at work and some people say, oh yeah, so, like, talking about what I eat and whatever, like it's anything different to any. I don't sit there and go, oh, what do you eat when you get up in the morning? What do you like? I don't ask dumb questions. It's like, some people, their main thing is that they see is race. Do you get what I'm saying? And like it is like we live in a world now where I thought it was getting better, but it's only seeming like it's getting worse.
Yeah, which is so sad.
So sad. And I also said, why are people so mad? Do you know what? I don't ever get up in the morning and wake up and be angry at a white person or be angry at someone of a different color tone to me and have so much aggression to it. I do not understand why there is so much anger at people just because of the color of their skin. Do you know, like, you go Jamaica, Jamaicans will welcome in, white, black, Chinese, this, that, Indian. You go, it's a place of many colors in it. There's a place of many cultures in Jamaica. You know what I mean? You go, there would be Chinaman chatting patois. You go these places, even Africa, half of the time where Africa got caught out is because they let people in. Do you get what I'm saying? No anger, just let people open doors and that. And that's how our people are. So it's sad, man.
Yeah. So. I think upbringing plays a big part as well because, like, for me personally, like, I'm obviously mixed race. So I've got, 2 different nationalities. But like, my family wasn't like, we didn't really care about what color you are. You're accepted for who you are. So I think culture, it's something that's inherited because for you to have this much hatred towards someone because of the color of their skin, it's obviously taught behavior. You don't, like you said, you don't just wake up and think about someone's skin color and dislike them because of the color of their skin. Where, you're brought up to love and accept everyone for who they are. Skin color, it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's definitely a horrible feeling. And I can see that Ashoke has actually put a message here saying he's got racially abused when he was in secondary school and wasn't happy about that. It needs to stop because it's disgusting and it's hurtful. And I totally understand what you're saying. Okay, I've been a victim of racial abuse myself as well. And I've actually been attacked because of the color of my skin. And I just think it's absolutely awful. It's dreadful, it really doesn't matter.
And I think for everybody, I think even the people that are in the chat and even people that are watching and whatever, to understand that, everyone feels like, what can they do? What can they do? I think the first point of contact, whether you're white, black, whatever color you are, is to speak up when it happens. I think a lot of the time things happen and people stay silent.
Yeah, because there's that fear of,
Yeah,
Oh,
or just getting involved. You know, we live in a society when as soon as something happens, people rather record it than actually be in the moment of what is going on or
yeah,
help. You
exactly.
know, and I think that is the first step to moving forward. I think with it is that everyone needs to speak up. If you're in the pub and you hear someone say something or whatever, or you're out with your mates or you hear something, pull them up on it. Say, nah, mate, that's not right.
That's
And
right.
then that is the first step of making change because people will start to realize, you know, when people laugh things off and they think, it's a joke or it's banter and this, that, and nothing gets said, that person walks away thinking it's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're in a ground like for Vinicius, he's in a stadium where everyone's chanting monkey. If not one person maybe thought this is wrong. They got to a stage in that place, the whole place felt it was okay to do that. Do you get what I mean? And that is a sad thing about it, you know?
Yeah. You know, we just got to all push and work together and pray that this comes to an end. But it's
Yeah,
going to take
100%.
a lot of work, and people's
Look,
mentalities and mindset needs to change. Perhaps, you know, it needs to be something that's implemented from a young age in schools, in education, to accept people for who they are, regardless of their nationality, their sex, their
yeah,
religion, you know, their sexuality, just anything, you know, accept people, make this world a loving place.
this is it, man. This is it. It's a deep issue. It
A very
starts
deep
at home,
thing.
I think, and educating yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Just educating yourself, understanding that, you know, not all people are bad people, you know? You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? Everyone, we all bleed at the same blood at the end of the day. We all, you know what I mean? We're all human, you know, like, and you'd be surprised how much can be achieved if everyone wants to come together.
Exactly. And work together as a team.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, we just want a nice, happy, healthy world.
Yeah, that's it, man. And that is part of the problem, I think, with racism and people not dealing with it and the powers that be not dealing with it. It's because they understand we can be more powerful together than we are apart. You
Exactly.
have division and you break everyone down into little fractions, everyone's easily more controlled or everyone's easily more, you know, what's the word? You know, like you know, like when you can manipulate it or you know, like little things like that. Like, but if we was all one big unit, no one could tell us anything. We could be so powerful as people and make so much of a difference in the world. So that I think people need to realize that soon enough that we need to kind of be more, you know, together. You see it?
Exactly. And E. Ross sums it up fantastically as well. This channel is family. That is right.
That's it.
Everyone is welcome here.
That is it, mate.
We are a nice big family.
Are you telling me?
Let them know. He also says you treat everyone the way you want to be treated. Life should be about helping each other. Exactly. And that is exactly what we're saying.
Simple, man. Simple. Treat everybody nice, man. Spread love, not war out here, people. Come on.
It's all about the love, baby. Guys,
You
you know,
know,
this light is really bugging me. I'm literally going to be 2 seconds just to quickly flick the switch.
yeah, flick it on. Flick it on.
I can still hear you, though, so keep talking to me.
Yeah, flick it on, man. You know, and
Okay.
and I'm not gonna apologize or anything like for people that may not like the conversation about race and things like that because it's tough conversations that need to be had, and some people may not want to hear it or may not want to deal with it, but that's up to them because you know they might not like. I always see people say things about racism and this, that, and oh, or it's this and it's not that, but it's because they've never had to deal with it, and I think until you actually have to deal with something in your life, you can't speak on something that you've never had to ever experience.
Yeah, exactly.
People be like, "Oh, get over it," or this, that, or whatever, but you can't get over something that's never leaving. Do you get what I mean? It's not like racism just ended and everyone lived in this perfect world, and I'm still holding a grudge about something that happened 300 years ago or 100 years ago. It's rife every day.
Yeah, exactly. It's
You get
something
what I
here
mean?
in the
So
south.
you know, so yeah, if people maybe stop watching because we're talking about these things, but if you can't watch what we're talking about and sit down and listen to it, it's because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Because
And why
that
is that?
and why is that? Do you get what I'm saying? Because that, you know what I mean? Like these are conversations that need to be had, and it is football related because footballers are having to deal with this all the time. You know, you see what happened with the England and players, and you know, you even see what happened with the Sheffield Wednesday manager when they went 4-0 down to Peterborough,
Yeah.
and the amount of racial abuse he suffered. Then to go into the next leg and turn it around and put them through like that, how stupid must them people feel? Because 1 minute they hate the man and they're calling him all the names under the sun for him to do what he does in the next game, and then what? Then you're gonna then praise him. Do you get what I mean? Like the mental state of it is just beyond me. I don't get it. Do you get me?
Exactly. And what we got to remember as well, like racial abuse, you could be outside and need someone to help you to literally save your life. And what if it's someone that you've been, you know, racially abusing their nationality or something like that? And what you got to remember as well, you know, you could have children, you could have family, you know, that can become a victim of racism as well. So, you know, people really do need to sort of change their whole perspective. The energy you put out there is the energy you get back. So you put negative energy out there, and that's what's going to come back to you.
100%.
As Shake saying, this is why I'll continue to support Charlene, Doug, and all of my family, my friends, because they love me as much as I love them. Oh, that's so sweet. You know, we've got lots and lots of love for you, Shake. Yeah. Even though we banter you when Chelsea lose, but you know, deep down, it's all love.
All love, mate. It's all love, my brody.
And we appreciate you as well. We appreciate all of you, you know, supporting us, supporting our shows, and just being part of this family. It's lovely.
Come on, man. Love to all of you.
And
love to all of you.
These issues.
Yeah, man. No, but it's good. I'm glad like we've addressed it and said something about it, because it needs to be said.
Exactly. And you know, it's even nice that, like, you know, you guys can even come and talk to us here as well. You know, sometimes in life, you know, we can experience things that we kind of hold on to because we may not have anyone to talk to about it. It's nice that Ashoke could say, because we don't know if Ashoke's, you know, mentioned this to anyone else. We don't know if it's So it's a nice feeling that he's able to come and speak up, because not everyone can, and say, well, actually, I've been a victim of this. And to just know that you are loved and you are supported by others, you know, it can really just change someone's feelings and emotions as well.
And that goes for anything that any one of our viewers, anyone that's watching, plugged in, is going through. Like, you know, because there's so many other things, mental health, you know, like poverty in some places, some people are struggling, whatever, anything that you feel that you need to talk about, either it be privately, DM myself or Charlene, or if you want to speak in the chat with other people that are going to uplift you and talk positively, feel free to do it, innit? Yes, it's, you know, we have a football show and we talk about a lot of stuff football related and things like that, but also these are conversations that, you know, affect us all. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes football is our release that gets away from the reality of what we may be living, or the, you know, the teams that we support is what keeps us going. Do you get me? So listen, these are the conversations that sometimes need to be had. Do you get me? And feel free to, if anyone's going through any stuff, to kind of hit man up and discuss it, and we can talk about it, or privately or not, you know, or however you see fit, you know. It's love, man.
It's all love, homies.
Noble James in that essay. James Noble, so I said Noble James.
Do you guys actually love this shirt?
Do you guys? That shirt's hard. I can't lie. That shirt's hard. I feel like I might have to, before, you know, the season ends, I might have to go and get the Arsenal away kit, the black one, because I feel like it's iconic.
Can you get it?
I don't know. It's the longest time I've struggled to get it for ages, but I think if I'm gonna grab a kit, that's gonna be the one.
Listen, I need the Jamaica shirt.
Yeah.
I tried to buy it when it came out and I just couldn't get it. I went in the shop, it was all men's XL, and I was like, I really want this shirt.
Yeah, you needed to get the man's one and just edit and just do a quick little take it to the dry cleaner for a little edit. You know what I'm saying?
A big edit. I can fit in kids' clothes.
Oh, no way.
XL man.
I decided showing off, but
Huh?
I could fit in some kids' clothes. You know what I'm saying? With my big old belly, I can't get in no kids' clothes. Are you mad?
Doug, but listen, we are all beautiful in our ways. So
Trust me.
yeah. But I still need that Jamaica shirt, you know. So Arsenal, can you just make some more, please? Like
Yes,
it is like
yes.
like that shirt sold out instantly. Everyone wore it to Carnival. Like you guys need to make more.
And they probably will this summer. Don't get it twisted. They'll be reloading that. They'll be reloading a part 2 version. I guarantee. They know. They know. Arsenal know what they got to do to get them shirt sales in, man.
In it. James Noble, is that Aubameyang? It is, and I've got a feeling you just want me to turn around, so I'm going to confirm it is Aubameyang.
Aubameyang.
Oh, Charlene looking beautiful. Oh, thanks, Adam.
Come on.
Yeah, I like it, Char. Oh, wicked. Is this you lot's favourite shirt then? Doug, bro, I'm with you, bro. I'm 2XL.
Come on. Big up my big guys. You get me? My 2XL gang.
Jeez.
You know, we outside, B.
Right, yeah. So, Doug, when you saw Man City, I don't know if you did see, but when you saw, when Man City lifted the trophy, how did you feel? And let us know in the comments as well, guys.
I couldn't watch it for one, I'll be honest. I see clips on Insta, but I couldn't really watch it. I didn't watch it in real time. I couldn't take it in. Maybe feeling a little hurt, feeling a little bit, because I feel like just like that, it all got taken away. You get what I mean? Like in a sense that we'd been riding the top for so long, talking about how, you know, we believe, or, you know, even in some instances saying we've got this, yeah, to then in the space of a week, 1 week or 2 weeks of football, our whole thing turned upside down. It was hard to take in and it was hard to watch. You get what I'm saying? So for that, I just I couldn't watch the whole Man City. I'm happy for them because obviously Cole Palmer's my people. Like he plays there, and you know, I met him through a couple of my brethren and whatever. So I'm happy for him in that sense. And you know, Adji, Monts's brother, Adji, is it? His younger brother plays there. So you know what I mean? Yeah. Monts's younger brother's at Man City. Monts and Adji's younger brother at Man City. So
their younger brother. I thought it was Adji was there.
No, not Adji. Yeah, I got the name wrong, but the younger brother's there. So things like that, I'm happy for them in that sense. Like, but it's just it's difficult to sit and watch, man. Like, I just was I can't lie. It kind of knocked my energy for a few weeks, like for a week or two. You know, like even now my energy is still a bit low, as people most probably can tell. In it, do you get me? Like, but it is where it is, man. How did you feel? Did you watch it?
Do you know, I did actually watch it. I mean, prior to the weekend, I was actually like, do you know what? I really want us to win against Nottingham Forest, and I also want Chelsea to do us a favour as well, because I didn't want to see them lift the trophy. You know,
come on, man. We didn't want to see that. We didn't want to see that. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was just hoping for some form of miracle, but deep in my heart, I knew after we lost that, was it the Brighton game? Like, I kind of knew, right, all right, title race is over now.
Oh, yeah, the Brighton game was just the nail in the coffin. It was over. It was over at Southampton.
I know, but you know, you still got that glimmer of hope of actually, let's just try something. And then I think Brighton just confirmed it. But then I was thinking, you know, let this ride out a bit longer. And then you just kind of pray that, I don't know, someone gets a red card or something, and you know, City end up losing. You're basically hoping for a miracle to happen.
Yeah. I think the Everton game for me was the moment it was like, it's dead.
Yeah, but you know, if we manage to get all right, let's look at the Brentford game.
Oh, I'm not talking the Everton game we lost. I'm talking when City played Everton the other day and beat them 2-0.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about our fixtures because
no. That game, in order for us to maintain hope, because you think we was at a stage like every game counts, in order for us to maintain hope, and City having the Real Madrid game after the Everton game, I felt that they needed to drop points at Everton, go into the Real Madrid game, maybe win it or lose it, but then it gives us when they went and beat them 2-0, I was like, yeah. And then they went to Real Madrid, smashed them up. I said, nah, it's done.
Like you watch them, you know, you're like, yeah, we want to win the league, whatever. Then you watch Man City, and then it kind of brings you a bit back to reality. Like, geez, these lot are just
bro. They have not lost a game since the like
you said
the 5th of February.
Yeah, I know. Like they
haven't lost since they lost to Tottenham 1-0. Like, so what are we in now? June, and they've not lost a game in the last 3-4 months. It's crazy.
It's absolutely mental. But yeah, even I watched the game. I didn't see the beginning of the game, but I managed to get like the second half of the first half. So I basically missed the quarter of the game. So I was watching it. Chelsea had a few chances. And then the game ends, and then obviously all the fans on the pitch and all of that. And you're sitting there, and it's like, oh man, like this should be our celebration. But part of me was obviously hurt and upset because I wanted us to win the Premier League. So I did kind of feel a bit upset. And then on the other side, I was like, you know what? Well done to Man City. Like, you know, they're a good team. You know, you have to give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
But we did feel really, really upset. Like, that should be us.
No, I fully. And my friend said something to me that he'd been saying it throughout the season after the City FA Cup game, and I didn't get it. Like, I was kind of defending Arteta, and I think we spoke about it, but I get it now. Like, he basically said to me that when we played City in the FA Cup, we should have gone strong and won that game. I think he said that losing that game, I think going into that game, City might have been a bit fearful of us because we were so dominant.
Yeah.
Going into that game and playing a weaker squad and then losing to them 1-0 gave them everything they needed to go forward and crack on.
Yeah.
And gave them the confidence, and it kind of stirred them because up until then they were having problems. There was players that were, you know, like there was a lot of issues going on at City, and I think beating us, it maybe gave them the confidence to be like, oh, actually, we can catch these lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was it. Bang. From then on, they just kicked on, and we lost the mental battle because I think had we beat them, especially at the Etihad in the FA Cup, now looking back at it, you go away from that with a big scalp. You think it gives the boys confidence, it drives them forward. Then you go to City at home, feeling a bit more confident now, knowing that we've really beat them in the season. Do you get what I mean?
Exactly.
That takes a bit of nerves out of that game, but because we lost to them, then we know this is such a big game. And having lost it, City came within a point, didn't they? Or did they go above us after losing that first? You know what I mean? Then they want to drop two draws in a row after that, like Forest and that. So yeah, I feel like I didn't believe it at first, but yeah, these are turning points in the season where sometimes you don't realize it at the time, and you maybe think Arteta's naivety, or not even naivety, or maybe being too smart.
Yeah.
Cost you things in the long run. Do you get me?
Do you think Arteta sort of overthink situations? I mean, I know you said we was going to come back to that other conversation, and we kind of got drifted away where we was going to discuss him playing Xhaka in the left back row over Kieran Tierney. Do you think he's just complicating things, and sometimes actually it's better to go back to basics, as we even saw, for example, Graham Potter at Chelsea, when it was just like he was just trying to do the most, like just trying to do too much. When it's like, well, actually, if you just go back to basics, you can perhaps draw out better results.
Yeah, I think so. I think Arteta has moments where he would do the most not to play the player that naturally fits into that position. We've seen it a few times. Yeah, I don't know, like maybe arrogance, or maybe saying to the player that I'd rather, like, you know, replay this player than put you there. Like, because you got to think, if like managers do mad things, that so if you think if he's trying to maybe push Tini out the door and maybe showing him that he's not got any future here, or like, I'm willing to play this player in front of you, it change, you know, it just says a lot. It either sparks that player into something, maybe whatever you're looking for, it makes the player know that actually, you know what, there's no future for me here. And you wonder what, only Arteta will know what it is he's trying to prove from doing them things. But I think sometimes his tactics can either be borderline overconfidence.
Yeah.
like on the verge of cockiness. Do you get me? Like sometimes, not all the time, but it's like I felt that he was confident enough that second string team would have beat City and they never. So, but then I also thought it was a stroke of genius showing City that our second team could come close to beating them and they only scrape a 1-0. But maybe it made them realize the level they need to step their game up to now for when they play the first 11. So maybe, you know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like, you can only think what these things do to you mentally. And I think sometimes he's played certain cards wrong, I reckon.
Do you think he's trying to get Tierney out the door as well?
Who knows? But then I think, like, if that weren't the case, you'd play him against Forest. He's fit. Why would you try putting Xhaka? That whole Xhaka at left back never really worked.
And Tierney did have a good performance in the previous fixture as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You just bring him in. He looked like, I felt like after watching how Tini came in when Zinchenko, just around the time Zinchenko got injured, I thought, yeah, him for the next 3 games is cool. And then you go up against Nottingham Forest, you change it up, you bring in Partey in midfield with Jorginho and Odegaard. They've never all played together. It's just a weird midfield, isn't it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get if you play Partey and Jorginho together and play Odegaard as the 10 in front of them and you play like a double pivot or whatever, then you can bring Tini in at left back and leave Xhaka out. But yeah, that whole midfield, that them 3 would have been confused, especially with Xhaka coming into play on like, you know, that role that Zinchenko plays. It's just all a lot going on. Do you get me?
Yeah. Just trying to do too much. I wonder if we'll see the sense or the logic behind this, you know, next season of what it is, you know, because I do feel like Arteta is a very smart man. Sometimes too smart, but I guess there's always some form of like meaning behind it. So it'd be intriguing to see if we actually kind of see that next season.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Decisions that he makes, and you're like, I don't understand. Like, even when he was first coaching and like, it was almost as if the players didn't understand what was expected of them. Remember when we was sitting in 20th place and we couldn't get a win? Like, it was like he was over coaching them. But now we've actually seen, you know, them understand what's expected and we play attractive football. Like, let's be real, we've played some sexy football this season. Let's not forget all of the good times that we've had. There's been countless times where we've come on this show and we've been excited. We're saying we're winning the league for a reason because we've been playing good football. Exactly. So we've gone from something which has been very confusing to damn love-struck emojis in my eyes.
Yeah. I feel you, and I think he needs to learn to adapt. Like, it's like we said when we played City, and I said about the conversation me and Simon had about us switching to a 3 at the back and doing all of that, and then just to go and see what the lineup and see that City did the exact same thing we were saying, and Arteta still went with the same formation, just let you know how inexperienced he is in terms of Pep understanding that in order to win this game, he needed to change the system. I think he was at a moment that we needed to change the system, and had he done, it would have matched them up across the pitch. It kind of would have nullified the game in a sense because you're matched up all the way along. But then because we came with the system that they expected us to play and didn't surprise them with anything, it just played them like they just was all they had the extra man everywhere. Do you get what I mean? And I think he will learn the hard way as a manager that's new to it, still learning. It takes these experiences. I think had he won the league, he might have ballooned his, you know, that is himself in a way that he feels like, you know, he is the golden child because he knows how good he is. He knows everyone's telling him, you know, sometimes that can be a curse as well as a gift. Do you get me? So maybe not winning the league and it losing it in the way he has, he will go back and reflect and understand where he went wrong, and maybe be an even more different, but even more ruthless, even more like motivated manager for next season. You know?
Yeah, exactly. We definitely do need to try and take positives from this situation. And sometimes we can look, you know, like you've sort of touched on, we can look a bit too predictable. And it's like, all right, this is our plan A. There's no other plan. This is what we're going to do. come on, like before a fixture, you're like, the teams are going to study us. They're going to know what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And if we just know, if they know what we're going to do, they're going to know how to close it down. They're going to know how to deal with us.
Yeah.
So we need to have moments in the game. Like when I'm watching the game, I'm like, you know, outside the 6-yard box, the 18-yard box, take a shot. Sometimes players will be in good positions, like you're in space, whatever. Just take a shot. Like,
man,
you don't always just try and get the ball forward, cross it in, because there ain't going to be no one on the other end of it. Like if you're in a good position, just take the shot, go for it.
Yeah.
Like we see Partey do it. Unfortunately, he don't know how to hit the target.
Yeah, but he hit some this season. They did have moments like this.
Yeah,
season,
exactly.
it's not all been like you say. It's not all been like, yes, it ended kind of sadly, but I can't lie. Like this team gave us some moments. Like I mean, like there was times I was at the stadium for certain games and the atmosphere. I've never felt nothing like it. Do you get me? And you know, and I've on and off been going to games for years, and for the first time, it felt like in my history of going to watch Arsenal play, it felt like a club. It didn't feel like I was going there just to watch and to be entertained by my team. I'm singing, I'm jumping, I'm crying, like I'm going through the emotions that I'm and that's one thing I thank the club for, regardless of like us coming up short, is that this season for me has been one hell of a ride. Like even when my boys try to banter me, I laugh because I say, you men have been there like on the armchair, sitting there doing whatever, bantering Arsenal, waiting for them to fall. Like we have literally lived this moment, and it will be something that you cannot take away from us. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we, you know, like no one can take this moment away from us, or like or the experiences that we've had this season. Do you know what I mean? The highs, the lows, and I'm grateful for that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and I find it funny because you even look at like Jerome, like, bro, how many times do people want to say you bottled it? Like, it gets to a point that the word, it don't mean anything. Like, at the end of the day, like, like, everyone's like, you bottled it, you bottled it, you bottled it, you bottled it. Like, you almost start to look stupid the amount of times that you hear it coming out of people's mouths. Like, we understand it, but I think as sensible, mature people or looking at it from a perspective, we understand the reasons behind it, like we explained at the start of the show. It's not like everyone's talking like we're like at Man City levels, and listen, there's reasons behind the drop-off. There's like player fatigue, pressure, experience, all of these things that contribute to something like that. You know, like I can see there's other teams that have done, like look at City, all these, I mean Chelsea, look even at how Tottenham have been so bad this season, but no one isn't even highlighting those things. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You know, start of the season, Tottenham won the transfer window. Do you get what I mean? That's what they were, that's what they were spitting at the beginning of the season. Do you know what I'm saying? Chelsea spent all these millions. Nobody, for people to come here and say we bottled it like we was Liverpool. I remember at the start of the season, my friends were putting up like top 6 and who's going to finish in the top 6 or top 4. No one mentioned Arsenal, not one person.
Yeah, it's mad.
So we have so this whole bottle chat now to be, yes, we was in a position where it was in our hands, but by looking at the squad depth, the players, that we didn't have what it takes to get us over the line, and we understand that. Do you get me? Us as Arsenal fans understand that. Do you get me? But it's like, I feel rival fans are trying their hardest not to understand, because for them and a lot of people, it's all about bragging rights. It's all about banter. Like I have so many United fans onto me saying, well, you know, now that you bottled it, does it mean we've had a better season? Because in their minds, the whole season, it has hurt them to see us ahead of them. It's hurt them. Like at every given point, they wanted to be on the same level as us. I remember when at some point, United fans were coming and saying to man, oh, we're in a title race too. We're in a title race too. Then we're going to lose a game and then drop off. Then you wouldn't hear nothing. Then they'll come back up a little bit. And then it's like, yeah, we want to be counted for. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, they were so desperate to be in the mentioning because it hurt them to see Arsenal, that as soon as Arsenal felt it was like, look, rare. And they all jump on it. Same way like you have Jerome in there saying you bottled it. United fan, typical. I expected that from them because that's all they've done all season. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
But if the shoe was on the other foot, we don't care about them. We've not we still have a better season, even. But bro, if man can, you know what's funny? I find like, and I said it at the start of the show, and for anyone that missed it, everyone's counting this whole. I remember when Arsenal won the FA Cup, and I remember everyone was at that point in time saying, "Oh, the silverware don't mean nothing. Top four, top four, top four, top four." Do you get me? And all of this, and then it's like, soon as it becomes relevant for them. Now they want to make it something for them. Do you get what I'm saying? And for if you missed it, Jerome, the reason why, in my eyes, I feel Arsenal have had a better season, just in case you wasn't here earlier, is because the style of play and the way that we've been playing football and the level, because no one ever thought us. Remember, a season ago, these lot were talking like they had a title challenging team. So really, the Carabao and the Cup for Man United and the way that they've been carrying on is underperforming. Technically, they should be winning FA Cups. They should be in Champions League. They should be fighting with City and Liverpool, because I remember when they bought Jadon Sancho, Varane, all these players, like they strengthened in the summer. They were meant to be the bee's knees, and they're not. And then this second string Arsenal team that everyone says was crap and was, bottled fourth and all of this and rare, to then be running with City to the end of the season, playing fantastic football, playing at such a high level, and being so shocking everybody. I'd rather that going into next season than having a manager that looks like he doesn't know what targets he wants, can't pick good players, playing really crap football. Like them. United's football has been totally rubbish. Like, yes, they won a Carabao Cup, but no one even plays first team players in the Carabao Cup. Like, you look at the teams that they beat to even get there. Do you get what I'm saying? Like it's absolutely a joke that's what but it shows how far they've fallen. Do you get me?
Exactly.
They shouldn't be proud of that. They should be like, you know what, we got lucky, we got silverware, but considering how rubbish they've been.
Yeah, have more ambition.
Yeah, have more ambition, but then they want to. But it's all about, for a lot of fans and us, you find nowadays, it's all about bragging rights. It's all about being able to be in the pub, in the bar, in your WhatsApp groups with your mates and having one over on your friends when it comes to talking about football, then actually looking at football with real two eyes open. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? It's the Man U fans, they're so vocal. Like, honestly, I'm not even joking. I could just spot a Man U fan. The moment they even claim their Man U, like I could just tell them a mile off.
100%.
Like, no, they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, you like bottled it, innit?" And then it's like you could just tell straight away. And like, they're just so bold, and they're like, "Do you know what? You lot are just too confident, man. You talk too much." I was like, "Mate, that is you lot."
Yeah. Like, I'm having man telling me I need to be humble. I was like, what do you mean I need to be humble?
You need to be humble.
Yeah, but then soon as it's the thing, and soon as Man United fans do anything, like, they're the first ones to talk about this, they're the first ones to go champion, like, and then they're talking about being humble. It's just so like
Jerome's got a lot to say today, ain't he? We would always remember Arsenal bottling the league this season rather than City winning the league.
But he said this is what I'm trying to say. So but then on the same breath, I've had United fans saying that United will be remembered for winning silverware this season, then Arsenal finishing second. So make up your minds. Like, you get me? What is it? If we're gonna be remembered more than City, that means obviously we're gonna be remembered more than whatever. And is it gonna be remembered that this is the season that the youngest side in the Premier League pushed City to 3 games out of the season? Do you get what I mean? Like, or is anyone can even remember that I don't even remember who United played in the Carabao Cup final, and I'm being real honest, I do not remember it all. Don't remember why. You know what I'm saying? But they're singing from the rafters about this cup and how they've had a better season. When you check it, they how can you tell people we've only had one game where we've lost? So in my WhatsApp group, I tell you, when you concede 3 goals, uncontested, you get kicked out of the group, innit? Yeah, you get a sin bin, right? If you get if it's 3 goals without let's say I score and then they score 3 goals, you get ejected for 12 hours. If you score 3-0 whitewash, you get kicked out of the group for 24 hours. Arsenal have been kicked out of the group once this season. I've had Liverpool kicked out of the group I can't even tell you the amount of times Liverpool fans have been kicked out of the group. The amount of time United fans have been kicked out of the group. And we banter about it because like I remember it always used to be Arsenal. We used to get 5-1 at City. Boom. Before I can say anything, I'm ejected. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Like we got ejected once, and that was the other day when we played Brighton. Do you get me? And it was funny. It was iconic. It was like ironic that our first ejection is when you most probably thought the season was over. Confirmed the season was over for us. Like United, they say they've had a better season, but they got turned over 4-0 away at Brighton. Lost to us 4-3 away. 7-0 at Anfield. That's not a team. Like these results ain't results that you can turn around to a team.
Keep them coming, Doug.
And that's
your mic, homie.
4-1 or 6-1 at the Etihad. Like these ain't results that you can turn around and talk to, man, and tell another team that has up until the last 3 games of the season been battling with one of the best teams that's been out there. Like you look at this team now, this City team, this is gonna be an iconic City team. Like if they go and win the Champions League and then they win the FA Cup, they do the treble, they instantly, the team that these United fans have been tweaking for the whole season is just about to smash the only record that they have a few records, but the one thing that their claim to fame is this treble. They go and do that and smash it and then go and get a Super Cup. Like that the team that you've been tweaking for is just about to break your record. Like until they, like for us, like my friend was like, oh, so who are you going to be rooting for? Because you're saying about how everyone should have got behind Arsenal to like kind of cancel out this superpower. Who are you going to be rooting for in the FA Cup? And I said probably City, because I have no qualms with City. Until they go a season pretty much 33 games unbeaten, and I'll start to worry about the invincible thing going. Do you get what I'm saying? But until that happens, they're not really, their record breaking ain't bothering us. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
United fans are tweaking and twerking for their rivals. Like that's like us supporting Tottenham for the season just because we don't want United to win. It will never happen.
It's mad.
Are you mad? It will never happen. Do you get what I'm saying? But this is the type of people we have now that are like anything just to get one up, just to have banter, just to do whatever, or just to see you fail. They're willing to cross boundaries that you would never really cross. Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's absolutely mental.
Like,
I was about to say something, it's just completely gone out of my mind. I completely forgot what I was about to say.
Oh, sorry, my bad. No, think about it while I get some more United results up, because I really do feel like these United man need to be reminded, yeah, because I feel like they easily forget.
Yeah.
I feel like they easily forget, yeah. Let me see if I can. Okay, here we go. So let's just bring up some of these United results, right? So United, this is what they're claiming. They've had a better season than us, yeah. But they lose 1-0. They lose 1-0 away to West Ham. They've lost 1-0 away to Brighton. They lost 3-0 in Seville against Seville away at Seville.
Turn your volume up, mate.
Yeah, turn your volume up, Jerome. They lost 3-0 to Seville, yeah. When we got knocked out the cup, they were the first ones in my DM saying, it would have been sick to have an Arsenal Man United final. They didn't even make it to the final. They lost 2-0 away to Newcastle. They drew 0-0 at home with Southampton. They lost 7-0 away to to Liverpool. Few other results, 2-2, 2-2. Oh, yeah, they drew 2-2 with Barcelona and drew 2-2 Leeds. Lost 3-2 at Man United, Arsenal. Drew 1-1 away to Palace.
Any wins?
Yeah, should I carry on?
Carry on.
Lost 4-2 to Cadiz. Who the hell are Cadiz? Lost 3-1 away to Aston Villa. And that's the thing. I'm saying all of these, and I haven't even got to like the Brentford games. Like I can't even see any more matches. It won't even let me see anymore. But that's just like these are games that they flopped, and then they're gonna come and talk to us and say they've had a better season, or they're like, nah, mate. Arsenal and the style of football. 7-2. Ross is even saying 7-0 to Liverpool is just mad. Like
laugh my ass.
Before they start, and this is how stupid it is that they want to compare. Like I I never once said, oh, looked at what Arsenal did this season and said, oh, what we've achieved is much better than what Man United have done. Like, I didn't even think about it. But United fans are thinking about it because what does it make a difference whether you think you've had a better season than us or not? Do you get what I mean? That who is the judge and jury that's going to go, yes, you're actually right, Jerome. Yeah, United have, I rule that, hear thee, I rule that United had a better season. Yeah, so, and then all the United fans are like, yeah, I told you we did. I told you we had it. Like, what the hell? Like, no one cares. Like, we're happy with our achievements. Be happy with what you've achieved. But trying to convince us that you had a better season is just mad to me. Like,
but then, Doug, that's how you know the mentality is different, because United fans are sitting saying they've had a better season, whereas we're looking at it and saying, well, do you know what? What do we need to do to improve in order to win the league next season? And that is where the mentality shift is different. Where the areas that we need to improve on. Like, that's what we're thinking about, whereas they're trying to find out who's had a better season.
And it's like, because
next week they ain't gonna get, next season they ain't gonna get, Premier League titles or trophies.
That's what I'm trying to say. And it's like, even I see Jerome's next comment, with all these results, we still won a trophy this season. Arsenal have the same title as Southampton this season, which we don't, because Southampton's not in Champions League football. But the thing is, in order to win an argument, you're always going to stick with the same points when you're not open to accept information from different parties. Like, they will always bang on the same thing of winning silverware, but never actually accept the fact they've actually played terrible football throughout the whole season. Yes, you'll be remembered for the silverware, the Carabao Cup, which is such a dead cup, it can't even hold on to its sponsors for more than 3 to 4 years, because it changes sponsors every year. Like, it's not that serious of a cup, but we still take it as silverware. Do you know what I mean? Whatever. But like, you're not going to accept the fact that you're playing dead football, but hanging to the fact that you won silverware. Fair enough. Do you get me? But when Arsenal was winning back-to-back FA Cups just not too long ago, no one wanted to give anybody any recognition for that and was calling it a puppy cup and it don't matter anymore, and no one plays a serious side in the FA Cup. And that's the FA Cup. But these guys want to sing and dance about the Carabao Cup. I just find it just a bit mad. You know what I'm saying?
Mental. There was just a comment that I saw here from Azat Mukhanov. We need a striker more than Caicedo and Rice. Gabriel Jesus isn't the solution either for the next season. We need a guy who can deliver, not just be good. What's your take on that, Doug? And let us know also.
Yeah, now we spoke about it. Like, we definitely need like our token striker now. I'm sick of it. Like, at the end of the day, like, we had Sanchez, and Sanchez was and then Aubameyang coming in, he fell off the ball. But like I've said before in previous episodes, we've always had a madman. We've always had that someone who produces that magic for us, someone who gets us the goals and turns up. And I think since Aubameyang, we've not really replaced that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Aubameyang, for all how it ended, when you look at it, he won us the FA Cup. You know what I'm saying? With the goals against Chelsea, the goals against Man City. Even you look at the run that we had to go through to even get to the final, and the teams that we beat. Like, that was like, you can't take that away from him, and the player that he is. And even before him, Sanchez, what a player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what a player. Like, carried the team on his back, him and Ozil, at some points, to the point that you could just see that the rest of the players was never on the same wavelength as them. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think Arsenal, like, Odegaard is stepping up, and you have Saka, you have Martinelli, you have these players, but I think they need a talisman up front that is just brilliant. Like, someone, like, imagine if we could, roll back time and you had like like, imagine when Liverpool had Suarez and we was bidding 40 million for Suarez. And bring him into this team, like that kind of caliber. You need an Aguero, you need a Suarez, you need even a Sanchez, you need that high level, Haaland, or you need that high level. You need that high level striker to come in to carry the line for those players and then just elevate that team. So I do definitely agree. I think we I wouldn't take Bobby Firmino.
I mean, yeah, Ozan is saying, Sean Doug, would you take Bobby Firmino on a free transfer? But I guess like he's a bit like Jesus. He works, but he
Yeah.
ain't really your goal scoring man, is he?
Nah, he's not really. And I think the thing is with what you have with Saka and Martinelli, they get the goals and they do their thing, but it's like you need that player that allows them to have the freedom to have not feel that pressure so they can enjoy their football. And I think when you've got that striker, let's say like Jesus ain't scoring or we're needing goals and they're stepping up and doing their thing, but they might be they might feel there is pressure on them to get the goal, especially in games when you know that it's a tight game. You want those players to have that freedom not to worry about that. Like you look at City. City don't ever worry because they got Haaland. They think, bro, guy's scoring 50-something goals. Like we ain't got to worry about getting goals. This brother's getting all the goals. So when we help it, when we muck in with our goals, so excuse me, it's just helping. Do you get what I'm saying? Like we need that madman. And when I look at what's out there now, I don't really like. Obviously, I say Vlahovic because of the fact of the physicality of him and what we need going forward, because we do need a physical player. But I don't know what's out there right now that you could say, boy, that would Martial. Like, if he's not good enough for United, we definitely don't want him.
Oh, mate. Jerome is here to just banter us tonight.
Yeah, but I don't even think Martial, like, he's not a bad player, but I think that whole United era of those players when they had Lingard, Rashford, whatever, and all of that, like, I just don't think it was the right setup for him. I think I think Martial would have been better off coming to Arsenal. Because he was always considered to be similar to Henry. Maybe the Arsenal way might have been the way that might have guided him to being a better player. Do you get me?
What went downhill for him?
I don't know, man. Maybe distractions. I could never tell you. Like he's got a lot of like wifey drama going on behind the scenes, isn't it? So that could be.
How you know that?
Because you've seen it. He's still on social media. He's got this gal chasing after that girl, this, that, baby mum, this, that, all this other stuff.
Oh, yeah, sorry, that car situation, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always like, and that's the thing, always there's something popping up with him and his gal and ex-gal and all of this. He's always got other things going on. So
yeah, see, that's how much I care about United. I remember seeing that and just
he's got distractions, man, and distractions ain't good, like for what we need to do. You get what I'm saying? We don't need no player with no distractions. We don't need no distractions. You get me? Exactly. We want straight goal scoring machine player them, you know. So
exactly.
Yeah.
No one wasting time with all.
So who would you like to see as a striker?
Do you know what? I'm going to say this first and foremost. I'm actually upset about this Ivan Toney situation with the betting and all of that, and him, being banned from football. Because when you sort of look out there at, strikers that we could potentially get, like Ivan Toney is a player that I really like. He done it at championship level for Brentford. He's come into the Premier League. He's delivered. Like I think, because he's quite young. He's not young, as in, our young players, but he's not old as well. He's like at a perfect age. I believe he's about 25 or something, I'm assuming. Yeah. He's at a perfect age. He's got the Premier League experience. He could score goals. Like, he's a fantastic player. Like, he's got the height. That is the kind of player that I would have wanted. So, a bit upset about that. Other than that, like, last season I really wanted Haaland. Now you can see why I was Haaland.
We got to let. We can't even entertain that one anymore, Char.
We can't. But a girl can.
We got to let that one fly. You know who I think I would like to see come is someone like also Victor Osimhen. I think he'd be sick. He's scoring a lot of goals. That's a good one. What Harry Kane? We spoke about the Harry Kane thing before, and I said, if Harry Kane was to stay,
he was referring to a comment, and you in this Harry Kane situation.
Harry Kane just saying sign there. Harry Kane's just doing a lot, but Harry Kane, in terms
Would you
of what
take him if he was leaving Tottenham?
if he was leaving Tottenham, and let's say what if they like put it this way, if Arsenal was linked with Harry Kane, I would not be upset.
What? No.
Harry
Like
Kane,
that.
Harry Kane.
He
You
is
see, like what
Tottenham's
I'm, no, but you see
main
what I'm
man.
talking about. You see what I'm talking about in terms of goal scorers. Like this is the thing. We don't need him to come drop short. We don't need him to. He puts the ball in the back of the net, and even in Tottenham's rubbish of how crap of a team they are, he is the only shining light that shines from that team. Nothing else matters in that team. Harry Kane scores goals, and he's proven that. And I think it's sad that he's never had the team around him that can get him to the level where because I don't hate on him. Like, yes, he plays for Tottenham and whatever.
And you love him as one of your players.
He's one of our own. He is an Arsenal. He's an Arsenal fan.
As a child, all right,
as a child, but that shit don't change. Like he's still Gooner, but it burns him that they let him go. Like he had to go Tottenham. It burns him, and sometimes when you play against your boyhood club and whatever, you always want to show them the levels, innit? Like you're always gonna want to show. Look at Nketiah when he played against Chelsea. Like he's always gonna want to show him the levels, innit? Do you get me? What's that Eros is saying? Whose thought Harry Kane? I asked you guys last chat. His forehead shines too, Doug. I don't know whose forehead chatting about. I had to white man. I thought you were chatting about mine. But I think you put Harry Kane in this Arsenal squad, yeah. Now, I think he would ring off. I just think he's still going to get the goals. And he just adds that extra little bit of quality up top because he ain't got to run as hard as maybe the rest. And he might not feel how he has to carry. Imagine him having Saka. You see how they are for England, him and Saka and whatever. And then he's got Martinelli. Then he's got like Declan and some strength in midfield, some willing runners, and then the back four's solid with the man. Them like he would get us 25 goals plus a season, easy. He would, because that is all we're crying out for, Char.
No, man, no.
Take away the fact. Tell me this, Char. Take away the fact, yeah, of him being Tottenham and everything we've said about what we need as a striker, right?
Can we rename him then? And then I'll rename him.
Yeah, rename him Harry Danes. Yeah, look. So let's say
it sounds just like Harry Kane.
Potter Pains, right? So let's say we got Potter Pains, yeah. Like I don't even know where I got that from, but
Can
anyway.
we just have like a normal name that is?
No, we got to name him for who he is. We got to name him for who he is. But let's just say, right, Harry Kane, yeah. Like you look right. We said we want a player that's physical, scores headers in the box, scores goals. Like, why would if you had a choice of Harry Kane's and Lukaku or Harry Kane and Ivor Toney and all of this, why would you pick anybody else but Harry Kane? He's an out and out striker.
Because he's a Tottenham main man.
I get it, but you got to remember, I was there when we took Kevin Campbell, Campbell, you know. I was there when we took, and they were calling him Judas and all of these other things. It happens, man. It happens. But then when he's playing for your team, you can't, it wipes it. Like, do you know how much of a big step that would take? Let's say Harry Kane was to really, you know, entertain the fact of going to Arsenal, yeah? Like, even to entertain it, I got to rate him. Even if he would, like, I got to rate him. Arsenal should actually just go and test them and go and put in a bid, 100 million Harry Kane. Arsenal go for Harry Kane. Yeah. We win the league. It's like when we sold Rowan van Persie to Man United the season that, had we kept him, I reckon we would have won the league that season because he was the missing link to what United needed to win the league. It happens, man.
Sorry, Ross. Yeah, no, my face is just saying it all. Like, it's just mad.
Yeah, it's mad. But it happens.
Figo
went from Barcelona to Real Madrid, I'm pretty sure, at one point. Like, players play for rival teams. It is that. And if you take away the fact of him being like Tottenham, he's not Tottenham, he's a player, innit? And you actually look at what the club needs and what we need going forward. Harry Kane fits the perfect, like, You get me? Yeah, Eros said Charlie's ready to ban Doug. Listen, I don't want no violence. But Eros, tell me, you know what I'm saying, innit? Like, he said facts. He understands what I'm trying to say. You get me?
He did not say facts. I can't
He
see
did
that.
say facts. He says, look, facts, Doug. He says it up there, up in the chat.
I can't see it.
You can't see it. It's above Harry Kane joining Arsenal damages his Spurs legacy. But then if he was to go Arsenal, and then he said it again. If he was to go Arsenal and win something, who cares about his Spurs legacy? What Spurs legacy has he got? The fact that he just scored bare goals. Bare man has scored bare goals, but then what is it without silverware? Like just being known for the man then that scored goals. Matt Letizia scored goals. Who cares about him? Like, do you get what I mean? Yeah, and 100 million for Kane would be way too much.
I reckon City will do it.
Yeah, City's won. City's won. I struggle to see that Inter side beating City.
Yeah.
Whether they got Real Madrid or they got Man City, it was always going to be whoever came out.
No, make a difference.
It won't make a lick of difference. You get me?
When is that? June the 10th?
June? No, we're in June. July, you mean?
Oh, July.
It can't be too late because you think we're already close to the transfer window opening because the season should have finished already. What are we in now? We're in May. Yeah, the season should have already finished. The season should have finished like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, isn't it?
Yeah, it's finishing next week.
Yeah, so it's finishing next
we have
week.
the World Cup.
Yeah, so we should we should get the league next week. Then I think the FA Cup maybe the week later, and then the Champions League maybe the week after that, or maybe on the same week. But then Man City are in the FA Cup as well, so they can't play FA Cup and Champions League in the same week.
Yeah. What with the spending? Listen, we better spend, but Harry Kane don't excite me.
May not, but I think in this team, obviously with other additions, how many goals has Harry Kane got already this season?
Where's all the Gooners? Let me know if you would take Harry Kane at Arsenal.
Don't try to round up.
Working for Harry Kane. Who will take him at Arsenal?
Look at this leading goal scorers. Yeah, Harry Kane in this.
Why are you in love with Harry Kane?
I'm not in love with Harry Kane, but I'm thinking logical. I am thinking logical and taking the emotion out of the thought and looking at what we just said, oh, we need this physical goal scoring madman up top, striker up top.
Put me on the pitch.
No. We've seen what you can do, fam. That can't go on, you know what I'm saying? Like we've said we know what we need up top, innit? Like we've just said it. Harry Kane, he's a gooner. This is only right, raging demon. See, man them know he's a gooner. He is a gooner. Bring him to his home. Smash it. Win. Imagine if he came to Arsenal, smashed it, won the Premier League, and then won them to do whatever. Mad. Like my thing is, it's not that I'm like, I'm this Harry Kane fan. I'm not like I do feel like
there you are.
No, but I'm not like because I'm thinking logical in a sense that like for what the team needs, and who the type of player he is, it makes sense. You can't, regardless. I'll be silly to be like, no, because like he scores goals. We need a goal scorer. We just was talking about it. We need a prolific goal scorer. Who else better in the Premier League right now is more prolific than Harry Kane at
Haaland?
Yeah, but Haaland's not a realistic. He's not a realistic signing because Haaland's gone City. He's never going to come Arsenal. Let's be realistic. Let's take Haaland out the equation because he's gone.
I will twerk for Haaland all day, every day.
All day, but he's never leaving City. And I think if he was to leave City, I think he's going Real Madrid straight. His next destination will be Spain. I
love Haaland, man. Wait, he's a gooner. Like, have you not seen that photo? Do you know, I'm going to put that back and actually I can't. That picture of him in his Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, man. I think
he will come to Arsenal before he goes anywhere else.
We'll see. The only way I see Haaland going to Arsenal, right, is if there is a power shift in the league. Like if Arsenal was to now be the team that's rivaling City, which we did this season, but we came short. But let's say we was the team to be rivaling City, there's a power shift where now Arsenal are the team of the Premier League. Then, you know, like the old days, you might see Arsenal go and poach another club's team or whatever for players, and those players wanting to go to that team and stay within the Premier League. But as it stands now, City being the powerhouse, I don't see that a player like Haaland wanting to leave the power that is City to then go play for Arsenal.
Listen, just win the treble. Boom, come to Arsenal, get a new challenge. Come win the treble with us. How about that?
Yeah, how about that, mate? You know what I'm saying?
Just 1 year, boom, go City, break bare records, get the treble, then come Arsenal, and do the same. Sorry, my child just showed me something that looks nice.
Yeah, but you know what's mad? I know you actually genuinely mean this. Like, I know you're not even. I can see it in the way that you're saying it. You're talking.
Passion. I'm a
Yeah,
passion.
that's what I'm trying to say. Just this, so we can agree to disagree. Then you get me?
I can't listen. I know we've been like rivaling with Man City, but I love Haaland. Like, I love him.
No, we do. Like, I think Haaland's great. Great.
Unreal.
I just don't think I'll ever see him in as it stands right now in the Arsenal.
Right, let's remember this conversation. I feel like it could happen one day.
Yeah, but then will it happen when he's like old and grey, or he's not like that?
No, bro. Like in the next couple of years. Hey man, Arsenal's a big team, you know. Oh, Charlie loves his hair. Listen, I can't lie, man. Nah, I can't lie. Though I was a bit upset though when he took out his hairband, had his gold hair all flowing, and then he scores a goal against us. I was like, no, this guy is disrespecting us. But I do love his hair. But I do actually like him when he's got the 2 cane rows too. Anyway, enough about Haaland because it ain't happening this transfer window. So
yeah.
She haven't Genie Lamper make a wish. Where do I get that from?
Yeah.
Oh. Wait, sorry, I've got to read this comment. No, I swear, you guys make me laugh. I'm gonna read this how it's written. Wagwan Shan Doug, it's me, Arsenio Wonga. This my new phone account. Apologies for me being bare late. Man had bare things to sort out and got here ASAP though. So I'm sorry for being late. Do you want to come live with us?
Better late than never, my friend.
No, you lot crack me up, man. Haaland is an alpha male. He loves power, strength, violence. That's the only language he understands. He'll never choose Arsenal. But these are the attributes that I like. Like, I like power. I like strength. I like that physicality.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the flip side, he does yoga. He even does a yoga pose. I'm like, he's just like the perfect player.
Yeah, but all right, take Haaland out the equation. Who else is there apart from Kane?
I don't know.
See,
Haaland just blows my mind.
See,
no, all right, this is too much talk about Haaland now. Yeah, Ivan Toney was another one that I was looking at. I don't know. There isn't like. Are you just sitting waiting for me to say Harry Kane?
No, I'm not waiting for you to say Harry Kane. I'm just waiting for other options.
I don't know. I need to.
Fits the goal scoring machine, madman. We need up top.
Do you know, now that I've been exposed to Haaland, like, what other goal scoring machines are there?
No, but we can't keep saying Haaland. He's like Haaland is off limits as it is at the minute. So
realize all things
like Arsenal had to pick their second choice players. Who would be your second choice?
Bro, we don't do no second choice. We want number one.
You're just avoiding the question. You're avoiding. You think you're clever and you think you're slick. Yeah, I know you're just avoiding the question because you ain't got an answer. So
I don't know. There's been a lot of talk about Mitrovic. He's good for Fulham. Like, I don't think he's.
You would take Mitrovic over Kane?
No, because obviously Kane is like he has more to his game than Mitrovic.
All right. So, would you take Rashford over Kane?
Oh, Rashford. I don't know. I need to think about this. Vlahovic. Char, would you take Vlahovic as your side piece? Oh, you lot make me laugh.
What
Do you
to
know, I
come
need to have a
against.
think about this and come back, man.
Yeah, next time when we have the next show, you got to be prepared with your. I'm expecting you to be prepared with your striker option.
Yes, cool.
I'll come with some more options as well.
Yes, please do.
Just to fill the gap of the options that you never came with.
Yeah, cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I need to have a look and see what we want. You know, like when you see like, do you go to a restaurant or something, and then you see like, is restaurant even a good thing? Or if you go to buy a new pair of trainers and you see the ones that catch your eye, where it's love at first sight, and you're like, yeah, man, these trainers are hard, they're nice.
Yeah.
You picture like what they could be worn with and just how you could drop them, and you're like, yeah, man, these are the ones. But then it's like, oh, well, you can't have that, but you can have these. But it's like, but I've got my heart set on these. Like,
Yeah.
There's no other option. Not like, I'm not saying we were getting Haaland, but like now you've seen what he's about, and you're like, whoa, like I want a player that's sort of matching that.
Yeah, but who's that? But that's the thing. Who? That's the thing.
Exactly. There is no one else like him.
Because so that's why we can't just keep looking at Haaland, because Haaland is an option that we just do not have. Like, he's just not there. It's an option that's just not like, it's not tangible, and it's not like it's not achievable. So that we have to kind of realistically look at our other options that, you know, like I mentioned, Kane is kind of achievable because he's 1 year into his contract. That if Arsenal maybe were looking at him and wanted to go for him, he is attainable, in it. Like Victor Osimhen, they've just won the league. He's attainable. Vlahovic is attainable. Even Ivan Toney is attainable. It just means we wouldn't be able to get him to play till January. Do you get what I'm saying? So if Arsenal was to go for him, they could most probably get him at a reduced cost. So you got to look at attainable options, Char. We can't keep just talking about Haaland. He's gone.
I know, but like you watch him and you're like, you just watch him in awe. Like, wow, man, you're unreal. Sorry, but Eros is making me laugh. Charlene won the Adidas shell toes, but she's getting the Tesco 2 strikes.
Yeah.
Wait, do shell toes even still sell? They're like them tennis-looking trainers, ain't they?
The Primark 2 straps.
Innit? Mate. But anyway. Right, should we start rounding off, Doug? We've been talking for 2 hours.
I know.
It's always a pleasure, and I feel like I could go on for 2 hours more. Someone did actually mention Brewster. Actually, let's just quickly have this discussion as well. What is going to happen with Balogun? Because obviously he's on loan. He's been tearing up the French league. He signed, well, he's an American international. Balogun to come back as well. Is he our answer? Sometimes we're looking for the answer right in front of us.
So yeah, I'd rather Balogun stay and sell in Nketiah, to be honest.
Sorry?
I'd rather Balogun stay and sell in Nketiah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that'll be my preference, because I feel Nketiah's had his moment. He stepped up but fell off. You know, I know that, you know, like Arteta will want to reward Nketiah with that, do contracting him, you know, stepping in when Jesus was injured. But I think Balogun needs a chance. Excuse me. And I think you can't give him a chance if you're holding on to Nketiah. Like, you have to make a decision that they have to really look at Nketiah and feel like, does he have another gear to go up? You know what I mean? And that is the thing. And then you have to honestly give Balogun a good look. Like, you have to give him a chance, see if he's got what it takes to play on English soil. You know?
Balogun over Harry Kane?
No, because he's not proven that. At the end of the day, us putting all our hopes on an 19, was he 19?
Only 21.
Is he 21 or like whatever age he is, 21-year-old striker? I don't think that's fair. I think we need experience up top. Like, I wouldn't mind Balogun going out on loan again, but maybe to a Premier League side.
It'd be good to see him play in the Prem, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just to see what he's got and then going from there. And that's what maybe Arsenal want to do. But
He's
his
21 years
advisors, huh?
He's 21.
And that's the thing, his advisors, the people that he's got behind him, you know, like for his agent and other people pushing for a move is the ideal situation for them. They all get their cuts, they all get like agent fees and whatever. So they, you know, leave, like do this, force your hand. But then I think if I was in his shoes, I'd stay at Arsenal, go for another loan season, see what happens. Because the team's only getting better. Then prove your worth. Go away, prove your worth, come back. And then come back. And then by then, if Nketiah isn't really doing whatever he'll go, then you step in and do your thing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you know what? We are going to go into more depth of this conversation in our next show, which will be later on this week, won't it?
Yeah. No, because the way that I can see that you're just like, yeah, you know what? Actually, this could actually really go deep. So let's just leave it.
We know it's going deep.
Yeah. And then, but also, you know what? In the next show, we can talk about these things because I think it probably will come towards, the end of the week, so maybe after the weekend's fixtures, be the end of the season if we do a Sunday show, so we can cover all things, transfer, everything.
Innit? Doug, we got so much to talk about.
This is it.
Catching up. We touched on quite a few subjects today, but there's always still so much to talk about.
Yeah, man.
So, listen, it's been a pleasure as always speaking to you, Doug.
Come on, baby. Come on.
And having the whole family.
Yeah, man.
Look, Jerome's back. We'll come and parade outside your house, fam.
Are they going to have a parade for that
Carabao
Cup? Are they gonna have it? Because I would like to see the turnout for that. I tell you,
mate. Listen, I made sure I secured my ticket for the Wolves game. Everything.
Yeah, I might go. I see what Simon says if he's going or not. If he's not, then I might. You might see me there.
Yeah. All right. Tyrone is saying I enjoyed myself in this stream. Can't wait for the next one. Oh, thank you so much, Tyrone. We're so happy you enjoyed, and we enjoy having you guys. Like we said, like you guys said earlier, we are a family over here on this show. So thank you to each and every single one of you for joining us. Oh, a City fan has just come. Well, mate, we are literally just rounding off the show, but do join us for the next stream.
Yeah, follow us. Join us for the next one, Hot Hit, so we can get your opinion on things and how you feel about the Arsenal, title race and stuff. That'd be sick. So yeah, please make sure you're there for the next one. And like Char saying, shout out everyone that we can see in the chat that's talking and being a part of it. Yeah, jump in. So probably Sunday evening, isn't it, Char?
Yeah, Sunday evening after the game against Wolves. Well, it'd be the last day of the season as well. So we'll have a lot to talk about, relegation, teams coming up, title race. We'll have a lot of subjects to discuss. So it should be an exciting show.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate your support and your lovely comments. But thank you, everyone. Sending lots and lots of love to you all. And remember, this is a family setting. We're always happy to discuss subjects that are bothering you as well. Like Doug clearly stated earlier, we are as one. Big up to Ashoke. Great show as always. Big up to Eva as well. All of you. Big up to each and every single one of you. Listen, we're going to be back on Sunday. We may have a show on Friday as well. If not, we'll definitely be back on Sunday after the last game of the Premier League season. It's only right that we go out with a great show as well. So, guys, enjoy yourselves. Take care. Be kind. Send love. And we'll see you at the weekend. This is Dubstar. I'm Charlene Smith, and we're signing out. Bye for now.
Come on.